Hi all, welcome back to my channel, to my everyday life. I'm an Aspie. As you know, I've been collaborating right now of the mental health series, of the social anxiety series, playlistings of what I was hoping to address to you all, so that hopefully that we can relate, as well as me for myself, as I'm sitting here talking to you all, to educate you all and motivate you all one way or another, and hopefully that with all this involved, that something in those series that I've addressed to you all, maybe you can relate one way or another. As I said before I continue on, some of these series that I'm sharing with you all, as a disclaimer, I'm no medical doctor. I'm just everyday Joe blogs, basically sharing my life stories, experiences based on that, as well as my knowledge and training of how I've dealt with certain people in my social life circle in the past and present, basically. So hopefully that it can maybe put a little light bulb somewhere, maybe put it lightly, to see how you can maybe help someone that you know of that shows those clinical signs and symptoms of any of those mental illnesses that I've shared so far. So hopefully this has been of help regardless of this as well. Earlier in the piece though, however, as I'm trying to finish all this up on the social anxiety series, as I said to one of the people that I was hoping to actually take a break, so that I was doing a little bit of an honesty tag part of the series, which hopefully will give you a better understanding, which is like the social anxiety and shyness of my life story, and a bit of, you know, maybe some motivational encouragement there on my life story, basically to give you the light and low down what my life was like as a young child growing up to now where I'm at this stage of my life journey. So no further ado, before I begin, I also want to thank you to the ones that have been supporting me, encouraging me to keep pushing on with my life story and, you know, series of whatever it may be. Basically, even though part of me felt, you know, like everyone, you know, doubting in themselves or maybe self-questioning themselves, shall I, shan't I, and what ifs, you know, and all this, like I have been in the past, and I'm trying to remove that kind of, you know, forward thinking of it all, shall we say, and then hopefully maybe, as I keep mentioning, I want to remove the stigma as well as the stereotyping of what goes down in these mental illnesses versus all these able labels that I have been labelled as, so that you guys can have a clearer understanding about me as a person, as well as maybe many others, even though we know everyone's life story is different. So basically, no further ado, before I run out of time, basically this is another tag series that will go along with that first part of that tag, but this one is just going to be labelled as the social anxiety tag, basically. And I'll raise up my hand right now, as I'll admit that I do suffer from social anxiety, as well as all these other clinical diagnoses that I have shared with you all, and that I felt after watching some of the videos of certain people that is in my playlist, be it like Kristen, Emma Wicks, and the like, basically, that does share their mental health awareness series, that, you know, I thought to join them on the bandwagon by sharing all these bits and pieces that I felt on my heart, as well as basically just to share as support and guidance to you all as I'm welcoming you into my life journey, as well as just, you know, sharing my life stories regardless what it may be. That I'm hoping also that despite it all of these everyday struggles that I've been through, that some of this will also be informative and as well as educational, and whatever, you know, other purpose that I had in my aims and goals, if you've been following me right from the very beginning. But just bear in mind with the social anxiety tag, as I address to you all, there is going to be some differences. So this one obviously is not my life story as it was with my honesty tag video of my life story with social anxiety and depression, because obviously there's going to be some more of these honesty tags as we go along, hopefully. But I'm just trying to, you know, sit back and hopefully rethink it through what I want to address to you all, hopefully, as well as just, you know, as my main goal, removing all the stigma and stereotyping about all these mental illnesses, as well as another thing is just basically spreading awareness is my, you know, all-time goal, as well as just basically along the way support you guys, you know, without being judged, criticized, or anything else. I just want my channel hopefully to be a place where it's going to be supportive enough for you all to have the courage to actually share your stories, or actually just maybe, you know, have the courage just to maybe watch my videos, maybe, I don't know, but whatever reason and purpose you come on my channel, you've come there for a right reason, obviously, and I'm not going to be judging or criticizing, because who am I to judge, obviously, because as I said before, that my life story or whatever, I'm going to be judged upon this along the way as well. I want us all to, however, support each other. I don't want us to tear each other down. This is far from what I've been hearing and seeing in some maybe channels that has been, you know, tearing people down, whatever it may be. So hopefully you feel safe in my, channel, and hopefully that without this, you know, I'm hoping that regardless of the support network that we're hopefully doing in this community of mine, basically that we can share our stories and messages of hope to others so that we can become a ripple effect. So like if I'm doing it first, hopefully someone else can actually do the same thing regardless. You know, I also believe or want to see strongly what I want to hopefully, you know, see as my aim and goal on this channel, as there's been so many aims and goals, which I didn't want to put too many in my about me page if you've been, you know, wanting to know more about me, is to be a community support network, you know, where people can feel safe, as I said, not to be judged, criticised, validated, neglected, but to feel accepted, appreciated, and loved and more. You know, so, you know, turning all these negatives into these positive aspects of these, you know, characteristics that I'm sharing. So, in all further ado though, I've created a social anxiety tag, which is part 2 of it, as I've said. This is my version of the social anxiety tag, along with basically, you know, the questions that has been addressed on, like, Kristen. So I thought basically I better start opening up to it all, and hopefully, you know, maybe despite many people may ask these questions to themselves, you know, but these questions are in the description, going to be in the description below for these 6 questions. They're short, generic questions, hopefully, basically. And also, like I said in my very first honesty tag video of it all, I want to be real. I want to be transparent about what's going on in my life, inviting you all. So basically, I just want to hopefully address it all to you, and that no matter what, that, you know, maybe one day that you'll be able to have the courage to do the same, you know, to share your stories. But again, choice is up to you. So let's begin. Okay, question number 1 on the social anxiety tab while I was watching is, when did you know you had social anxiety? Okay, as I said before, we know that basically everyone will experience or encounter social anxiety one day in their life. So I have shared a little bit briefly in my social anxiety versus shyness series of that honesty tag right now, basically how it all began. Obviously, to me, I was a bit, you know, over the place. Obviously, I was basically trying to be that energetic young child, trying to fit in, blend in, and basically do things for our own, trying to stay out of trouble like anybody else. But how it began was, obviously, as far as I can remember, social anxiety was always there, basically, probably after when I was in preschool, probably when it started in my primary school years, while I was transitioning to a, you know, young preschooler to the, what they call them, primary school age level, and it transitioned again. Okay, number 2 is, what are some of the situations that does trigger off your social anxiety? Let's be real and frank. I guess everyone can relate to this. With me, when I first felt that I had social anxiety, it was basically meeting new people, being in a different environment. As you know, if you're following my channel, that basically what I've shared also in my book, that, you know, my parents were obviously moving from town to town now and again while I was growing up, you know. It did give me a chance to try and, obviously, while transitioning to these new places versus new people, you know, obviously I was doing my very darn hardest, and also, like anything, any young child would want to just try and stay still and actually make friends and all that. So basically, meeting new people, being in new different surroundings obviously triggers it off. And also, basically, I'm starting to try my very hardest now to speak in public places, as well as socializing in big groups. It's taking a while, obviously, for me to be in these big groups, but I believe that I am making progress every day in my life. Who are you to judge if you don't believe in me that, you know, it's happening for the ones that do actually know me or know of me outside this community of YouTube? Okay, that's for me to know. Another one that triggers me off or the triggers for social anxiety at the moment is, I don't know if this is called a social anxiety as such, but now and again I used to have a phobia, or shall I say, I might have to be under phobia on this one, but I'll just say it anyway, talking on phones. But now again, I'm starting to actually enjoy talking on phones, like some people may know. Talk hours on end, as I do, sharing my life stories right now as I'm vlogging to you, regardless what it may be. Another trigger that triggers me off right now of my social anxiety. I can't think of any others, but I know there is a few others that I probably could relate to with others that has been sharing this social anxiety tag. So bear with me, and I'm sorry in advance. I'm trying to remember it all, as I'm trying to be honest, real, and transparent with what's going on in my mindset. Before I go off on a tangent, number 3, what does it feel like to have social anxiety? When I was first known to have social anxiety, it wasn't that pleasant, to be honest. Basically, to me, like any other person, it's really daunting, really crippling to have social anxiety. Like most days, as I've shared with my story with depression and all that, it's that crippling moment that you're freezed in the moment thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Sometimes it feels that way for some people. What it feels to me with social anxiety, it's not pretty. If people knew my life story before I began this channel, or just in general when I'm, trying my hardest to socialize with people like my dad wants me to do. I don't mean to involve you, Dad, if you are watching some of these series. Humbly apologize in advance, but I'm doing my very darn hardest, basically, to try and socialize with others, regardless of all these thought patterns, what people may think of, and all the what ifs and everything else, trying to abolish all those, as I'm learning to today, as I shared in my honesty tag, that it shouldn't matter of those personal opinions from others around me. It should be based on my personal opinions that matters most. Number 4 is, what coping skills helps you with social anxiety? Okay, the coping skills that I felt that worked for me, may not work for others, but it worked for me, was every day as I get up in the morning, even though many people may think I'm crazy weird or whatever what I'm going to say here, but it works for me. Okay, let's be real here. Get up in the morning, talk to myself, or talk to the mirror, pretending it's a person. Okay, having that courage, obviously, to practice more on my conversation skills. As I said before, when I was growing up, I had problems communicating. I had a communication delay and whatnot, as I was growing up as a child. So now I'm starting to realize that with this coping skill mechanism, by little, talking to the mirror as I get up in the mornings, trying to, build my confidence up. As I see, confidence is key. Basically, I felt that, talking to the mirror, basically, first and foremost, was the first step for me to actually, do with the coping skills. And then when it came down to, obviously, taking those baby steps, walking down the street, maybe a quick hello, smile at people, wave at people. I'm even trying to have courage right now, even though I'm still struggling with this, to actually engage with different people, and to start a different conversation every day, even though it's hard because, that social shyness versus all those other, characteristics that gets involved in the social shyness circle basically gets in the way of it, which I'm trying to do right now is abolish it. Another coping strategy for me, I felt, was meditation, in a way of yoga, maybe, just being in the Word, my music, something that I enjoyed doing to try and, remove that distraction of that social anxiety feelings that I was feeling. And another one I felt basically as a coping technique for me was basically, hopefully maybe just like I'm doing right now, sharing my life stories, and hopefully one way or another you guys can relate to me, or, feel to myself that even if I am alone on this full screen, basically that, we can together conquer through this. There's many more I want to share, but that's the main ones I can think of right now. Number 5, have you ever had treatment, therapy, meds, etc. for your social anxiety? Okay, to be honest and real here, no, none, no to all of those questions. If not, why not, maybe, is another part maybe many people will question. I believe that, everyone, despite of the different mental illnesses, will obviously treat that type of mental illness in their own form of way, be it medications, be it maybe, meditation versus whatever of certain coping strategies they felt is good for them. I believed that, I was trying to find some social networks at the time to basically help with my social anxiety, by just maybe, attending some extra classes to build up the courage to, communicate to others versus, excuse me, excuse my French. Basically, like, another one was basically, even though as I was growing up, when I knew I had social anxiety, besides the classes, I felt that, as I shared in my book, as well as my blog, or shall we say my blog right now, what I had to do was obviously had some sort of therapy to help me with my communication versus everything else. So obviously that in its sense did help me. So obviously I guess that could be a part of maybe a treatment versus therapy needs maybe. So I'll actually say maybe yes and no. That could be an answer, to be real with you. Last but not least on the question is number 6, misconceptions you wish to change about social anxiety. Like many other people may want to do as basically a misconception. Basically, as we know, there are so many misunderstandings about what social anxiety, social awkwardness versus shyness, and all these other clinical definitions that I have addressed to you all right now, as well as basically it's maybe just an understanding of what social anxiety is like to others, that, basically everyone's life story is different and there's no cure fix or what have you. Social anxiety can hit at any stage and age like any other mental illness. It's just basically thinking that social anxiety, isn't real when in fact it is real. Being in that person's shoes for starters is important, obviously, to that understanding of the level that we need to know about, basically, of what goes down in our lives. Another misconception is that, besides being socially awkward, shy, or whatever, I feel that another misconception is, many people may think, we can't get out of it. Some of us, like any one of us, like I said in one of my videos, it's all up to us. It starts with us, ends us up with us, based on our everyday choices, how we're going to tackle everything. So basically, whoever suffers from that social anxiety, it's up to them. Be with them and actually support them is what I want to say as in a form of advice with this misconception. But also be informed, self-educate yourself maybe about social anxiety and all these other mental illnesses that I have clearly addressed to you all so far, so that you obviously know the signs and symptoms versus maybe obviously if someone else is reaching out to you on that perspective of what they're going through, of that mental illness or, medical condition that they're going through, that they shouldn't be judged, criticized, that they're obviously leaning on to you for a reason and that purpose. So, be empathetic and understanding enough, and actually, for some of us that does obviously go through our everyday situations of these mental illnesses, regardless what it may be. Some of us tend to be the strong one, trying to think that we can do everything on our own strength, thinking that, regardless of what goes down, that, not many people will understand. But then I just noticed that social anxiety is quite common in our everyday life, no matter what it may be. So I'll say that it is common, and that some of the misconceptions that I've addressed to you all are based on my responses as in there. So obviously there's a lot of misconceptions I want to actually change or address about social anxiety versus every other, bits and pieces that is important. So that's all I can think of right now about this social anxiety tag. Thanks for watching, guys. Give me the like for thumbs up for support. Subscribe to my channel for daily, weekly updates of what's going on. Feel free to share these videos and more, basically as a motivational, whatever purpose it is that you want to share with you all. Feel free to basically, private message me and follow me on Twitter and Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Do what you love what you do, love yourself, love one another, forgive yourself, forgive others, be kind to one another and others if you can when the time arises, because you never know, as I said so many times before, what people may go through. So we need to be kind to one another one way or another. So, and all for to do again, thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and I'll see you all again.